Hello everybody, welcome to Green Horde Heroes. My name is E.T., your big fatty if you will, from the Dice Matrix, and I'm here to show you the survivors slash actors slash heroes, all the related powers and how they work. Now you're going to notice in this handy dandy two-sided insert that comes in your Green Horde Wave 2 box showing all the positions of your survivors and baddies from the Wave 2 base Kickstarter. I'm going to cover each of these figures individually in separate videos. So you can just go to the hero or baddie that you want to learn about and click on the related video. So let's get started and start waking up these survivors. Let's begin. Zanzibar! Come forth. It's time to be a hero. Zanzibar! Hit the board. You know it's time to cast some spells on them zombies. Alright, let's go look at Zanzibar's card here. Looks kind of like an 80s rocker, which is kind of funny to me. I'm not sure if this is one of those miniatures that they modeled after somebody. You guys can comment below if it is. Okay, the first thing I want to point out is the slot. The armor slot, instead you can hold the enchantment Ghost Sight, which is a pretty good ability where you can choose a target. Let's see who's on the board today. Oh, I brought Salia's special guest star today. So let's just say there's zombies beyond, you know, through a hedge or a barrier or something. You can cast Ghost Sight on a target, and during their next turn they can strike through a wall or a hedge or something they normally could not strike through to make attacks on those zombies right there, which is a pretty good little enchantment spell. Okay, so let's look down at the thing. The starting abilities for Zanzibar are Spellbook and Spellcaster. Now, Spellcaster basically grants you a free action, but it can only be used for enchantments, which works good if you can acquire Ghost Sight. Now, you don't start with this. Reminder, that's just something, if you happen to get it, you could place in the armor slot instead. Okay, besides Spellcaster, you have Spellbook. Now, Spellbook's a really cool ability, too, because that allows you to have things in your backpack, and you can use them as if they were in hand. So, like, let's say there's another Telekinetic Blast up here. And, I don't know, maybe like a healing spell. Now, you can still only, you know, abide by the rules. But let's say on your turn you didn't have this healing in your hand and it was only in your backpack. You could cast it as if it was in your hand for an action. And also the Telekinetic Blast, since it's a dual wielding property, you know, you can cast both of these as one action. And then for another action, you can cast something else. So I mean, it's a pretty good ability. Here I am messing all those up. So anyway, that's your Spellbook capability that you start with. But what happens now when we do what we like to do with these guys and level up? Bloop, 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 bloop. We're in yellow. So yellow, of course, gives the classic +1 action. So let's move the peg down. And so you know what that means? Instead of your 3 actions, you're going to have 4 actions for your free actions. Okay, now when you level up again, bloop, 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 bloop. I'm not making very good bloop sounds today. We have a choice here to make. Zanzibar can either get +1 free magic attack or Born Leader. Both of these are good. I'm gonna stick with this right now. I'm gonna go with the +1 free magic attack. Now this magic attack, what that does is it gives Zanzibar here a chance to cast an additional action each turn, but it has to be for a combat spell. Now remember, that's not enchantment, so that wouldn't be the Ghost Sight, but you could do a Telekinetic Blast, since the subtitle is combat spell, and or something maybe like Lightning Bolt, which is a combat spell as well. So pretty good little ability. The other one is Born Leader. If I had chosen that, Born Leader, what happens is, and I had to look this up online and go through a few forums. So Zanzibar can use as a free, it's not even an action, it's just like, once during their turn sometime, they can just say, hey, Sali, next time that you take an action, you get a free action. So they get an additional free action on their turn. So that's a pretty sweet ability. I know it seems a little like it's powered, maybe OP a little bit, but honestly, when you look at all the characters, how they're built together, they're really not, because some of these abilities are just amazing. Okay, so those are the 2 orange abilities, and it's time to level up again. We've killed a ton of zombies, so we're in the red. So here's the 3 cool red abilities. Which one am I going to choose? Well, this is a tough choice here. Right off the bat, I might choose something, one of the first 2, although I do like the mana ring. But let's go with the +1 die magic, which means, let's say I'm going to cast Telekinetic Blast. So I have the damage is 1d6. Let's say Zanzibar is going to shoot a Telekinetic Blast in there. Well, for +1 die magic, instead of rolling 1 die, you're going to roll 2 dice instead. So it gives you a better opportunity to attack. So also on the +1 die ability, which is neat, is if you're double wielding, let's just say you have this up here, and now you have Telekinetic Blast up here in Zanzibar's backpack. This is a good little way to look at it. And so now he has 2 Telekinetic Blasts. So that's a dual wielding. So he could use that because he has Spellbook. And since you use that, you would use both your dice. Now, +1 dice, when you're actually using any type of dual spell or weapon, you will not just gain an additional die for your ability +1 die, but it also lets you grab one for the other one. So for this one spell, boom, with those abilities like that, Zanzibar's rolling 4 dice. So die, 2 of you guys. So anyway, that's not a big deal right now. But +1 die is always nice when you're trying to thin the horde, as they say. Okay, another ability we could have chose was double casting. Double casting is really neat because, for instance, like Ghost Sight, or especially my favorite one to have in this situation is Healing. Let's say you have Healing, which is an enchantment. Double casting lets you choose an additional target, as long as it's within line of sight, to have for healing. So let's say we had another hero. Well, I guess you can target yourself, but if Zanzibar was down, had been hit for some wounds, he can heal a wound to himself and heal a wound to Salih. You can choose 2 targets. Well, the nice thing is this can only be used once per turn, healing, but you're only using it this one action, but you can choose 2 targets with that double casting, but it only works on enchantments only. But a very amazing ability. So sorry I wasn't pointing up here, but he can heal himself and Salih on that. I get really excited. I forget to flip the camera. Apologize, guys. Okay. The last one is one of my favorites. It's called Mana Rain. So let's take a look at the board. Let's say, this is one of these things where we're just raking up the zombies in here. Got all these guys, and there's a spell. Let's say he's got even a better spell. Let's say he's got Lightning Bolt, okay, which does, I'm trying to remember. Okay, it's range 0 to 2, so he's within range, and it does 2 dice. You need 4 or higher. It only does 1 damage though. So let's go ahead and take this guy out here just to make it most effective. So now let's say the big fatty's following up here. Well, he's going to cast Lightning Bolt in this spot, but since he has Mana Rain, Lightning Bolt says that you'd roll 2 dice. Okay, so but Mana Rain changes that, and it says for the number of zombies in that zone, that's how many dice you would roll. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to roll 6 dice to see what you can hit. Or if you're like me, you roll your special, I bought these at the game shop, zombie kind of looking dice with orcs, and you roll all of them. And I killed 4 of them, 5 of them. Actually, all but this one was a hit. So I know it's hard to see on those, but I just do it for flavor. So that Mana Rain is a kick butt ability, guys. Let me tell you right now, I'm just so stoked about it. All right, well, that pretty much takes care of all the abilities that Zanzibar, not really a move specialist, not a combat specialist when it comes to melee or ranged weapons. When it comes to wielding magic and enchantments, this guy is your guy. I'm liking this. Approved.